Hey guys, Joey here. Today I got a few tips on growing Meyer lemons in colder climates. So we're here in the high desert of Boise, Idaho. Um, Zone hardiness about 7B, and it gets pretty cold here in the winters. We also have the extra challenge of a shorter growing season, as well as really intense high desert, high altitude sun. But we do have a few advantages here in these colder climates as well. Oftentimes they come with lower humidity, which helps keep fungal disease down. But a couple tips for growing super healthy citrus, which as you can see, this one's loaded with little tiny lemons, with a couple bigger ones scattered here and there. And I got my grapefruit tree over here. It's not impossible. What you're gonna wanna do is start with high quality citrus specific or high drainage potting mix. And what I mean by that is you wanna have perlite or just anything that is gonna drain well. Citrus, they hate wet feet, meaning they hate sitting in standing water. You're gonna want to let them dry out pretty decently in between waterings. I like to just stick my finger in, and when the first 2 inches feel dry, give it a deep water. Deep watering 1 to 4 times a week is much better than light daily waters. It just allows the plant to fully use all the nutrients and water that you apply to it, and then dry out and re-oxygenate the root system. The other thing you're going to want to do is use a citrus specific fertilizer. I like to fertilize around 4 times a year, specifically in the early spring, the start of summer, halfway through the season, and then early fall. Through the winter time, especially in these colder climates, these trees are hardy down to the upper 30s. However, you don't want to test that, as that slows growth and can stunt the plant. You're going to want to bring them indoors. Now, it depends on the variety that you're growing. Some are more cold hardy than other, meaning you're going to want to take them in at different times. My grapefruit is less cold hardy than my Meyer lemon, so I actually take this in at the end of September, and this one midway through October. When indoors, you're going to want to find the brightest spot possible for them. A lot of times, like especially here in Boise, because the sun is so low in the sky during those dark winter months, I find it necessary to supplement with a grow light if you don't want your leaves to defoliate a little bit. However, if you're fine with a scraggly looking tree, you can just sit it next to a window and wait for the warmer months to come back around where it'll perk back up. But expect, if you're going to do that without a grow light, that it will lose some of its leaves. You're also going to want to keep it away from like a hot draft, so any like heater vent right next to it, or any like cold breezy window. You're going to want to keep that closed, as they hate like different temperatures. They like consistency. And then the last thing I forgot to mention when it comes to fertilizers, one thing I found that helps tremendously is using azomite. Azomite's a little rock mineral that comes from Utah, and citrus trees, they love micro nutrients. So you're going to want to like not only feed them with a higher nitrogen citrus specific fertilizer, often a 633 or a 733, you're also going to want to use a little bit of azomite to help give it all the micronutrients you need. Thank you. Like, subscribe, follow for more as I show you guys the journey of growing citrus trees in climates they don't belong in.